Good afternoon, welcome back to Direct Bird Products. I'm Shane, and as you will see, I've had an haircut today. So things are starting to reopen, so exciting times ahead. We'll be able to get out and see our fellow bird breeders and keepers. Today we're going to do more on questions and answers from So the first question is from Lawrence Waterson, talking about clear eggs. Now, this was sent through Facebook Messenger. So basically he's saying that he's got a pair with clear eggs and they've been set the full course and obviously they're clear. And how long would I leave them? Now, as a ruling, what I do with mine is as soon as I know that they are clear, so after candling them at a week or so, if I find that they're clear, I would remove them. The purpose of me doing this is to actually get the best out of the pair that I've got. We are breeding them for exhibition purposes, so we line breed. And if a hen is sat for 14 days on clear eggs, it's not really you're not really getting the benefit out of her. The breeding season is short enough as it is without leaving them for 14 days. So as soon as I see that they're clear, remove them, remove the nest pan, leave it a week and start all over again. If it is a cock bird that's obviously not in condition enough, remove him and reintroduce him as well about a week later when you reintroduce the nest pan. If you are doing it that way, it's always to reintroduce him in the morning, and chances are he'll probably tread straight away. So I hope that answers your question. One is from Laura Labora in America. Thanks very much for watching. She's got a male canary cockbird. We can't really say cockbird, especially on Facebook, so a lot of people took offence at it. I just think it's a bit ridiculous. But anyway, the cockbird is really aggressive. Now, for me, that is down to his weighing condition more than what the hen bird is. This time of year, especially with the greenfinches, they do get really aggressive when it comes to breeding season. This is why obviously you don't have a lot of male canaries together, or greenfinches even. Greenfinches are really aggressive. If you put two in a flight, they'll be pulling bits out of each other in no time. Further down the line, the hen bird will catch up, and when she wants to breed, she will start fighting back and standing her own. Another problem is obviously cut the vitamins down on the male and keep the same dosage for the female. At least that way you're going to bring them up onto a level. Eventually the male would settle down anyway once she's done that, and the bond, and it'll be totally fine. So I hope that helps you out there. One is about soak seed. Now, for us people that have been breeding birds for a long time, take it for granted and know exactly how to do it. Like I said before, that soak seed and germinating seed are basically the same procedure, just different outcomes. You can soak any seed by leaving it soak in water for 12 hours and thoroughly rinsing it off. You can even put a sterilising tablet in there. I don't feel the need to. For germinating seed, like I said, same, 12 hours, take it out, sieve it thoroughly, and sieve it every time that if you're passing or it's convenient for you. Make sure that the seed is nice and clean. Leaving it 12 hours to germinate, then when it is germinating straight away, that's when it's at its utter best. Giving it to your birds in no time, they'll devour that, and it's better. More vitamins and minerals are released and sugars in that period than it would be when it gets too long, too sprouted. Same with soaking seed. It's just the reason we soak seed is to soften the shells, so that the parents and the young ones, the chicks, can actually feed, and the hens and the cocks can regurgitate the seed easier to feed the chicks in the nest. Like I said, there is a video on our YouTube channel, but this is one that I've sprouted now. One thing to bear in mind, the temperature outside is unstable, and it's been like -1, 2 and 3. The seed will never germinate in that type of temperature. I soak mine here, take it in once I've sieved it all off and it's nice and clean, leave it overnight, bring it back out, and then just leave it outside, and that's exactly how it looks. Perfect for feeding the chicks. So I hope that has helped, and like I said, there is a video in our other videos on YouTube. Check that, it gives us a bit more detail on there how to do it. The question is from Andrew Stevens on how often I clean my birds out during breeding season. And every breed is probably different, but the way I do it and the reason I do it will become clear. So basically, before breeding season I give everything a really thorough clean through. This gets rid of anything, but remember, in the mite aspect, a mite cycle is every 6 days from eggs laid to eggs hatching. So you're going to get rid of the adult ones, but the chicks are still hatching. You're never going to combat in the way that I'm going to do it. So I'll put an end to breed. It'll have a thorough clean out before I offer the nest pans in. The hen will go on to eggs. I won't disturb her whatsoever. That's 2 weeks period. Then the chicks hatch. As soon as the chicks have left the nest, I will pull the drawers out, clean all round with Johnson's Clean and Safe. Clean the drawers, DE powder in the corners, easy bed on the bottom. Quickly cleaning around, because I've got, like I said before, the vinyl covering on mine, so it's easy to wipe down. Quick spray and a quick clean around there. Straight back in. The whole process shouldn't take more than 3 or 4 minutes. You don't want it taking forever. Last thing you want to do is disturb the hens and stop them from feeding the chicks. Then again, once I remove the chicks, which I'll be doing with my birds later this week, weekend, early into next week, I'll be putting them in the stock cages and they'll get another clean out. Some of the birds are already on eggs, but it's inevitable that, you know, you might disturb them at some point, but little time spent doing that type of stuff, the best off. So in a nutshell, as and when I can. Ideally I'd like to do it every couple of weeks, but the scenario with the chicks and stuff is not going to permit that. So basically, yeah, it's just a matter of when you can without disturbing your birds. If you know your hens are not going to be too bothered about you removing the trays, giving a quick clean out, then by all means go in and do it. But you do get some hens, especially the younger hens, you will find that they don't like to be disturbed at all. You might scare them off the eggs, and then you're going to have to find another cage to put the eggs so you don't lose the chicks inside. So I hope that has helped there. Charlie Gregory has asked how big are the Siskin cages that we're breeding the Siskins in. Now, just a general idea, right, so my cages are 24 by 14 by 12. Siskins are one of the probably easiest British birds to start off with if you're new to the hobby. Same with the red poles. They will nest freely in anywhere really. Flights, you can use them in there, but I mean the reason I've got them in cages is because my flights are full with the bigger birds. With the Siskins being smaller, they don't need as much room. Making sure that you're not making them fat and unfit for breeding. So giving them the right seed is paramount, I suppose, to not fattening them up. But yeah, I mean they will nest anywhere. That's the size of mine. Mine have gone to nest in the wire external pans with a natural grass liner. I have shown that before, but I will show you some bigger ones for your bigger ones later. Just a little bit of cover around in there, and they've nested freely. All 3 are on eggs, but not all gone to plan, as you'll probably see in Friday's video. Question is from Don Leone, asking about rounds of eggs with chicks, and do all birds basically have 2 rounds? No, every single like your zebra finches, budgerigars, things like that are different altogether. Zebra finches will breed all year round if you allow that. A good friend of mine only lives around the corner, Derek. He's had his zebra finches breeding from this time last year and are still breeding now non-stop. If the environment is right for the birds, they will breed all year round. Whereas your canaries and the native British finches, totally different. Their breeding season is different. Our breeding season starts around March to August. Some odd pairs will go later on, and I will try and get 2 rounds from each pair. You can go for 3 in your canaries and green finches and some of the other species. They will take 3 rounds, even 4, but I don't ever try and do that. I just don't think it's right on the end. It puts a lot of effort in to bring them chicks up, and I think 2 rounds is suffice for that type of breed. Chaffinches, for instance, they probably, I mean, I've never had 3 rounds out of a chaffinch, never tried, but after 2 rounds, that's them exhausted. Yellowhammers, like I said last year, mine went 3 rounds, but they were all clear, so it's not taking anything out of her. But as a general rule of thumb, 2 rounds is plenty enough. These birds, Don, are very, very active. They're ready to come down to yours. But yes, in general, 2 rounds is suffice for the type of birds we're breeding. This question is all the way from Malta, from Josie Formosa, asking about baths in breeding season. Yes, definitely 100% baths. I give my baths every single week without fail, the day after they've been cleaned out in a normal situation. Last thing you want to do is clean your birds out, then offer the baths, which is going to wet all your new easy bed or whatever you're using on the floor completely through. Same on cages. Now, one thing to bear in mind, that giving baths helps the humidity in the shed, helps the end, cools her off, especially in breeding season when the weather is hot outside. I mean, I can imagine in Malta it's a lot hotter, so even offering a bath every day will not do them any harm. Just bear in mind, if you've got chicks, especially in cages, don't fill your bath up too much. If you've got deep baths, just put a layer of marbles or stones in the bottom, just covering the actual whatever you put in there, marbles or pebbles. 10 mil or so, that's about a centimetre. Above that, the birds will still bath in there frequently. It's not a problem whatsoever. So just bear things like that in mind. But yes, definitely baths every day if you like. Now, as far as a lot of our regular people on Facebook will probably see, is a lot of our new products we have got in this week, and a lot is based on the knowledge and stuff of my bird keeping. So we don't sell no rubbish, we only sell what we believe in. We'll start off with this nest box. Now, if you'll remember, this is one that I made up myself for there. This is one made from balsa wood, and they are brilliant. Nice groove in the bottom, they are nice and deep, so they fit snugly on the cage, just like I've said before. These 100% I'll be using these next year. What birds, I don't know, I'll have to try and see, because I've never used them before, but they are brilliant. We've already had an order of these go out last night as soon as I put them on. The next one is the spiral wire nest. Now, these, as soon as we got them last time, they sold out literally within a week. So I've ordered a lot more. These are the 9cm grass liners that fit perfectly. This is why I got them together in there. These would be ideal for your mealy red poles, lesser red poles, siskins, and even goldfinches. Smaller canaries, Irish, rasas, things like that. I wouldn't say 5, maybe a push. But, I mean, you don't need to use these grass liners either. A normal nest felt would suffice in there, and they hang on the front of the cage perfectly. So that's the smaller ones. Now onto the bigger line ones. I sold 20 of these straight away last night. Thank you, Jamie. He's going to be using these for his Norwich. These are brilliant. Big and nice and deep. Because Norwich, anyone knows, build like a tower for a nest. You get some that won't build anything at all, some that build to the hill. So, nice and deep. Now, these can go with normal nest felts. We've got normal nest felts that are not pre-cut. We also, now, upon request, I've got the pre-formed nest felts. These come in packs of 6. So if anyone is wanting them that don't want to mess about, faffing about, cutting out, we've got plenty in now, and they would fit perfectly in there for your Norwich. Just want to point out one thing about these though. If you're using them for your bigger canaries, you've got such as your Yorkies, Gloucesters and Norwich. Everyone knows that the bigger canaries, bigger feathered birds, are prone for mite. These would be ideal because once your nest felt is in there, they've got nowhere to hide. Like the plastic generic nest pans, they've got a lot of surface area to hide. The mite they'll get anywhere. By these, they've got hardly any space under there to hide. Such you get mite with your felt in there, easy enough to remove and just spray underneath with Johnson's anti-mite. One on the birds, one on the chicks or eggs. So that's one thing to bear in mind. Like I said, we do a lot of thinking of before placing our orders to buy this stuff. We don't just go buying anything that anyone wants. We think about our products before we actually get them. And that is why we've got these. I mean, the last load of these again, we sold these out in no time. So that's them ones. Now lastly but not leastly is these cage ones. These are slightly different to the ones you've seen previously that we've had. These are slightly bigger. The smaller ones is which my chaffinch, both my chaffinches are nested in at the moment. So you can see the size of the smaller ones. No problem whatsoever with them. Even the Siskins have nested with the smaller ones. These are the bigger ones. You could definitely get your native bullfinches in these. But you don't always need to use these bottoms. Oliver Crowther, OC has shown you how he does with some of his. Now, using either a grass liner in the bottom, cable tied either side, or the coconut ones, you've got a bigger surface area, then imagine it being like that, the birds will come in and feed them. Just bear this stuff in mind. You know, there's lots of different ways you can use our products. It doesn't have to be what always says on the tin or what you buy them for. But these offer privacy from all sides, just covered in a bit of conifer or artificial Christmas tree. Pinned at the back or on the front, they fit snugly with the bottom on. So just think about that. But like I said, they are slightly bigger than the other ones. Right, my tip for this week is go out and get as much fresh chickweed and dandelions as you can possibly get. Give it to your birds. Me and my daughter went out. We filled this bag only a couple of days ago and I've been giving handfuls to my birds every day. Dandelions are the best conditioning seed. You can go and buy conditioning seed. It's not ever going to be as good as dandelions. Same as chickweed. You get the right chickweed. There's no garden peas or broccoli can give as much natural stuff than what chickweed does. I'm lucky that I've got permission on a local property that mass produce organic vegetables where they allow me to go on there at any point and pick these because it's doing them a favour. They don't want them in their vegetable beds. So like I said, I'm quite safe. Just remember, be responsible when you're collecting it and leave some behind for the wild birds because they're going to be using it for their youngers as well. But most importantly, make sure they've not been sprayed or dogs have not weeded them and stuff like that. If you feed that to your birds, with no doubt whatsoever, that'd be gone in no time. I mean, I've fed all my birds, give them all an handful in the morning, and there's no sign of it whatsoever. They eat every single bit of it. It's not just the dandelion heads. They will eat the the stalks, the leaves and the roots. There's goodness in every bit of the plant. So anyway, that's going to be it for today. But before I do leave, tune in on Friday at 7 o'clock. Just for a general look round, see the crossbows we've rung down. You will see some lovely footage of both parents feeding the chicks. Take a look at all the other birds, the yellow hammers, chaffinches, some more of the canaries. Anyway, thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of your evening. And go and enjoy the birds. The weather has been brilliant today, hence I've got a t-shirt on. But like I said, it's been up and down, and I'll explain more about that in Friday's episode. Thanks for watching, and if you haven't already, like, subscribe, leave a thumbs up. You know all the malarkey. Anyway, enjoy the rest of your evening, and I will speak to you soon.